What is up, my fellow Chibits? Today, I'm here to bring all of you the weekly anime review of Noragami Season 2. This episode went from 0 to 100, well, I'm holding up 10, but 0 to 100 rather quickly. First half of the episode was comedy, lighthearted comedy, that just really made you smile. The second half of the episode was just like, whoa, that went fucking dark. Like, whoa, that was very dark. So, I want to compliment Noragami for one thing. One thing, if I could only choose one thing to compliment Noragami for when it came to this episode, it would definitely be the way they used the tone shift. The way they used the first half with lighthearted comedy, and they did that gradual build-up into the serious theme with that dark atmosphere that the second half of the episode showcased. And to see how Yato has been remembered by so many people, even though he's like a nameless god, it makes a lot of sense now, which I will get into that, but I first want to talk about the comedy because that's the first half of the episode. So the comedy-wise, pretty funny all around. It's the standard Noragami comedy we are used to, but with a little bit of a difference. You have it to where Yato finally gets his shrine, and it's so sweet. I mean, we saw it last week, and I commented on it, saying it was just such a sweet scene, one of the best scenes of Noragami, and I just can't help but smile when I saw Yato just holding on to this little shrine that Hiyori made for him. It's so uplifting. It just really makes your heart in high spirit when you see Yato just so happy for this little object that you would think would not normally make so many people happy, or make someone happy. You wouldn't think it would, but Yato's like, I'm so happy, something I've always wanted since I was a kid, here it is, and he's smiling, he cares for Hiyori. I mean, he even says, like, I want to make her, like, one of the happiest girls in the world, and the way that sounded, it sounded like a love confession to me, it really did. So, you know, Hiyori x Yato, that ship is just selling pretty damn high, but also we have a new ship that is forming in this episode, with the student, or the classmate of Hiyori, that went to talk to her in this episode, because he was about to confess to Hiyori, but he decided to chicken out and he ran away, but that's obviously going to be used for some form of love triangle in the future if Noragami does go down the route of romance, but I will save that for later. So back into some other comedy, Yato, since he now has his own shrine, he was able to actually go up to the higher parts of the heavens, I'm guessing, and he's able to have his own land, stay there, and it was just so funny seeing how Yato was like gossiping with the local mothers or wives and stuff. It's just pretty funny. And then how you have it to where Yukine, he was taking steps to improve himself where he could be a better advisor to when, Yato gets more Regulus, which I highly doubt he will. But if he ever does, Yukine is trying to learn to be a good example from Kazuma. So well done, Yukine, once again demonstrating your character development, how much you have changed and progressed since the first season. Now, past that, into the dark part of the episode. So we're getting kind of the understanding of what this arc is kind of about. You have it to where Ibisu, the god of fortune, he's going around and he is putting names on certain phantoms, putting masks on them, controlling them. He's getting cursed, of course, to where, he's getting tainted, and supposedly from what we found out is he dies often. For instance, he constantly dies, and he's constantly resurrected. Since he is a well-known god, of course he'd be resurrected, which that was one of the main subject focuses of last arc. So finding this out, it kind of comes at no surprise. So this dude is willingly going out of his way to kind of capture these phantoms, give them names, put masks on them, and then he dies, and then he comes back, because there's really no consequence since he could continuously come back. And it makes you wonder, I mean, what is his real endgame? What's his real objective? What is he really trying to accomplish? So hopefully we get to find out that information very soon. But also, here's another thing we need to wonder about. Is this dude, Ibisu, that's putting masks on people and stuff, is this the person that was called Father in this episode? Because if you look at it, you have it to where Nora, even though we found out her name, I'm still gonna call her Nora, she's like, oh, Father, she starts talking to this dude and, like, calls him Father, so apparently Nora must respect this guy quite a bit, and then the way she talks, and then she talked to Yato, it was just very strange, because, I mean, if Ibisu was this dude, you would think they would show his face, so I think there's something else going on here. Maybe this dude's not the exact same person, maybe there's something else going on, I don't know, but maybe there's two people that is actually putting masks on phantoms, and Ibisu's not really the main person that's doing it. That is a possibility. Now, on to Yato's side of this episode. Yato we finally got to figure out what his side job is. Now, we've always seen the happy side of Yato. For instance, we've always seen the side jobs to where he goes out of his way to do cleaning, any type of odd job, kind of like, Gintoki. He does anything he can to be able to earn money and be able to be remembered by people. And we saw that demonstrated throughout this season and last season. But this time, we actually get to see what his title really means. Like, his title's called the God of Calamity. We already knew this. This was kind of showcased in the first season, and there was a big arc around it. But with this, though, we get to see more clarification of what Yato really is and what he does on the side to have people remember him. Because the first half hints that Yato, he's a nameless god, but for some reason he hasn't disappeared, because if there's nobody that believes in you, your deed is done. The god moves on and disappears. No chance of reincarnation or anything, the god just disappears. And Yato, for some reason, has been able to stay around, even though he is a nameless god. The reason for this is probably because he puts the fear of God in people. For instance, they hear about his name, like, oh, if you don't do something right, this, God of Calamity is going to come and kill you. I'm going to assume that's kind of where his name is being passed down. For instance, certain people hear it, they're like, oh shit, we don't want to do wrong to this god. Or maybe there's certain family members that know about Yato, and it's like, hey, if you call upon this god will help you, and then take down people that do you wrong. And that's kind of what we saw demonstrated, so pretty cool. I mean, Yato's going around kind of cleaning up the filth of the world. Even though it's a very dirty job, I guess in a way, he does suit his title, because he is the God of Calamity. I mean, we gotta really think about that. So, you can't just have a god that's called God of Calamity just going around bringing joy to everybody. You just can't. So, seeing that, it makes sense. I like seeing this darker side of Yato and how he's coping with it, and also what Nora has to play in this entire ordeal. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.